Okay, I'm back. Um, Random thoughts number two. I talked ruling class deep state last time. Part of our problem is that when Obama was president, Biden went over and got his son, who knows nothing about finance, started a company along with, I think, Kerry's son and some others were involved in this. It's all nepotism here in Washington. The ruling class puts their own people, their own sons, their own people they know in. It's all incestuous. Excuse me. If you work for a Democratic White House, the next thing you know, you're on CNN, MSNBC, NBC, ABC, and then you're supposed to become objective, but you bring the same radical policies and present them to the world. The biggest problem we have in this country is a news media that is completely devoid of any kind of honesty. Really and truly, the news media is the one I think that sets the agenda in this country. I think it's the Democratic Party that walks lockstep with them. And then you got some Republicans that like it because then they can get invited to the best of cocktail parties and enjoy life. So it's a mess in Washington. And the reason Trump was elected to try to do exactly what he's trying to do, and that's to drain the swamp and get rid of these swamp creatures. So enough of that. I just wanted to mention China and Biden and excuse me, Biden and I have terrible sinuses here in Florida, terrible. And in about a month they'll be better. But you know, Biden got this huge loan. He was also involved in other areas and other foreign countries. Biden has a crime family just like the Clintons and just like the Obamas. And I'm going to tell you something. The reason we're so dependent on China for all of our manufacturing is because of cheap labor. And I know that the open borders people will say, well, that's because we don't have people that will do the cheap labor. Well, I would rather pay a little more for my iPhone. I'd rather pay a little more for my products and have them in America where we could control whether there is an embargo or not an embargo, or whether they're being manufactured and even up to specifications. The Bushes, both of them, is deep state, with George Sr. being in the CIA, and younger Bush and the Skull and Bones, Yale, the whole bit, all the secret societies, they're all big one world government people. The Bushes, the Clintons, even though Clintons were very poor, raised poor, didn't have any money, they were still used and if not bred, but controlled and used and told what to do and how to do it. I remember living in the Boot Hill, Missouri, southeast Missouri, many years ago, and I remember very plainly that Mena, Arkansas was a hotbed for drugs coming into this country. And the governor and the attorney general, and Clinton was in both of those positions, they knew all about it, and they let it happen. The Haitian refugees that came in, a lot of things that went on back in that time, we didn't put two and two together until now. And I do know for a fact a lot of the stuff that was going on with the Clintons were true, because I had a very good friend who had a state patrolman from Missouri, and he knew the guarding the people in the Arkansas patrolman in Arkansas, and they knew each other, and they said the guy's worthless and he should be arrested. Now, why they didn't do something about him, they was probably all getting, not the policemen, but all the people there were getting kickbacks one way or the other. You know how this stuff works. I'm digressing back to my random thought number one about the deep state, but I want to finish this up very quickly with just this thought. The reason we are dependent upon China simply means, and simply is because we had the Bushes and we have the Clintons and we have Obama, which was placed in office to try to destroy and tear down this nation. Now, you say that I'm crazy if you want to, and that's fine, but that's my opinion. I believe there is a one world order group and a cabal that's trying to run this whole world, and there always has been. You've had the Rockefellers, you've had the Bilderbergs, you had all these people that's running around, and they're pretty open about it, you know. Kissinger was a big one world government guy, and that was back in the 70s and 80s. The Pope has even come out saying we need one religion and one person to run this world, to run it the right way, and that happened just a few months ago. So, call me a conspiracy theory if you want it, but check it out. They've all said it. You know, Bush Sr. said it, Bush Jr. said it, the Clintons have said it. Do you think that the Clintons really want people voting for people? No. They'd rather have people putting. That's why Hillary thought she was going to beat Trump. She thought she was entitled to it, and that everybody was going to just coronate her into the queen of the universe. lot going on. Try to keep yourself healthy and safe. Obviously, do all the precautions, washing your hands, staying away from people as much as possible. I don't know how contagious this disease is. I know that the numbers are skewed because many of the deaths happen, and it seems that just about every death that is publicized, there's underlying health conditions, or else they're 60 or older. Now, I'm over 60, but I'm in good health. I go bike riding, I try to stay active, I try to eat reasonably good, and have no underlying health issues whatsoever. So I'm not as concerned about it, but we all need to be concerned because you don't want to get sick, even if it's just a flu-like symptom. So I don't know how deadly this virus is, but I will say this. The abject fear that has come from not only this virus, but from the reaction of our government officials, either there is something really serious going on, or else we've been fed a hoax. Because now, every day it's coming out that this virus lives longer on hard surfaces, on this, on that. It's almost becoming comical, if it wasn't so serious, how every day it seems to be changing what they think. So, stock market's gone crazy, goes way down. There's no telling how much money we've lost. We're not looking until it's over. We're buying into the market, though. We're going to buy some more today. We bought some last week. I keep thinking it's going to turn around. More random thoughts. Democratic Party in the United States is worthless. They need to be disbanded. Their leadership needs to be on trial for treason. Negotiating in faith on this stimulus package for relief, which I don't believe in stimulus packages. I wish they wouldn't do them. I think there needs to be some targeted help for unemployment and for small business, but not a big boondoggle of a stimulus. So hear me well. I believe in targeted responses to unemployment, people in need, small businesses, but not Boeing, not Delta, not the cruise lines. They'll come back when we get over this and people start flying and taking trips again. So, man, my random thoughts have been everywhere today. I apologize. I hope you follow this, and this has turned into one too long, but I hope you'll listen to it. Just some of my thoughts. I'm not right in everything I say. I'm not a genius, folks. I'm just a normal person out here that shares my thoughts, and I find that as I share them, a lot more people say, oh, yeah, man, I agree with you. So just take it for what you will. If you like it, fine, let me know. If you don't like it, that's fine. I'm not going to argue with you because they're just thoughts I have. But one thing we know, that God has this whole situation under control. That's what I believe. And I believe that this earth is going to stand until He says it's not going to, and then it won't. And there's no reason in us fretting about it, because we're just His subjects, and God is God, and He has His hand on us. And I believe He's not finished with the United States of America. So I don't believe we're going to see our nation destroyed. We're going to see our nation come back. And I think because of this, we're going to move some manufacturing back, and we're going to do what we can to make this world better. By the way, before I go, see, I keep thinking of these things as my mind is just a fertile playground this morning. Israel has just announced they want to get into trying to get some of the ability to make some of the medicine, some of the medical equipment that we're relying on Russia for. That would be the greatest thing in the world if that would happen. If you bless Israel, they will bless you. And I know that if Israel blesses us, we'll bless them, and that's a reciprocal process there that God is honored by. So I can't keep religion out of this, or relationship with Christ out of this, and I can't keep my moral conservative values out. God bless you guys. Be safe. There is a virus. I'm just curious as how it started, why it started, and why there is such chaos going around. So, be safe. God bless.